Day 12, I've got WinLink messages, what do you know? Day 12, and we're gonna do some more driving, but we're not gonna leave the area. What are the top three, or three of the best? Three of the best. Are they the best? Maybe. What are the best 3 2-meter repeaters in the North Texas area? We're gonna go check those out today. I did a repeater challenge at the beginning of 2025, and I said, hey, you guys keep a log, key up your local repeater every day, send me the log at the end of the month, and the person with maybe the most interesting story is gonna win a radio. And I gave away 3 ICOM IC 2730s. I think the first one was an A model, and the second and third one were B models. I don't remember. One of them was an A model, one of them was a B model. People won radios, and it wasn't necessarily the person who was the most active, but maybe just had the most interesting story. So today, we're going to go around and talk on some repeaters, because I really think that repeater work is something we should be focused on, aware of, and something we should be active in. I talked about simplex in the day 4 video of day 3 video. The day 3 video of this series, we talked about FM simplex. I'm monitoring 6.52 right here, right now. Okay, so we will be throwing some call signs out on 6.52 while on the trip today. But the focus of today's video is going to be 2-meter repeaters. Now, I could sit at home and do some repeater work, but I don't know, I just want to be out in the field. So I could totally sit at home. Actually, right now, to be honest with you, right now, I don't have a 2-meter antenna up at the house. I took my 2-meter 440 antenna down, and I haven't put it back up yet. So I do have HF up at the house, and we're gonna do some HF work from the house for another event sometime in the next few days. But I don't currently have a 2-meter 440 antenna up, and I need to fix that. I need to fix that, because that way I can do some simplex work from the house also, not just monitor repeaters locally, but also do some 146.52 FM simplex and participate in the North Central Texas simplex net on Friday nights, which I'm going to do during this series. So we're gonna hit the road and drive for a little bit, and I'm gonna show you guys the top 3, or 3 of the, I shouldn't say the top 3, 3 of the best repeaters in the North Texas area. Let's go. Some of you might think, some of you who don't live in this area might think that the Dallas Club and the Dallas Repeater are probably the biggest ones around. Not actually true. Not actually true. I've been to a Dallas Club meeting, great group of folks down there. It's probably been 2 or 3 years since I've been to one of their meetings. W5FC is their club call sign, Whiskey 5 Foxtrot Charlie. And they're a pretty active club, and they do a lot of stuff with like field day and events and whatnot. But there are clubs in the area that are actually bigger than their club, at least as far as the number of people who attend their club meetings. However, they have one of the most active repeaters in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is on 146.88, and it is CTCSS of 110.9, which is what most repeaters in this area are on 110.9. Not all of them, but most of them are on 110.9. So let's see if there's anybody out there listening today. KC5 HWB Mobile. Oftentimes, you'll hear people on this repeater during drive times, especially in the morning. I will turn this on sometimes in the mornings and monitor it from home, or I did when I had my antenna up, I did. But during the day when people at work, it's kind of hit or miss. But like I said in a video earlier this year, when I was trying to get people more active on their repeaters, we should all be more active on the repeaters. Simplex, yes. Simplex, yes. If you have to pick one, I think it probably depends on your area. If you have an active repeater in your area, then join in. If you have an active simplex group in your area, then join in. If you don't have either one, then pick the one you like and become active. Contribute to the key up crowd. Contribute to the key up crowd. I like that. That's a good saying. Contribute to the key up crowd. KC5 HWB Mobile. Anyone monitoring this morning? Coincidentally, or not really. Additionally, 146.88 is the Dallas repeater. They have a 220 repeater that's on 224.880. Same PL tone, I believe. And I would like to do a video on 220 for this series. I'm currently looking and seeing what that's going to look like. Not sure exactly how that's going to shape up quite yet, but we're going to do something with 220 also, because 220 is one of my favorite bands to get on, and it's not very active, but we've got a lot of really good repeaters in this area. And the last time I had 220 in the truck, I would monitor, and sometimes I might hear some activity, but when I became part of the Key Up crowd, I would usually get a response back. Not always, but usually. KC5 HWB mobile in Irving. Just wondering if there's anyone monitoring this repeater this morning.
Hello, this is WN5RNW out of South Irving. Where are you at today?
I actually am in Irving myself. 635 in MacArthur right now, headed towards I-35. Did you say your call sign was WN5RNW? Did I get that right?
W5SC. Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay, well, good morning. Name here is Jason, KC5HWB. Just trying out some 2-meter repeater work this morning, seeing which repeaters are monitored and active and that kind of thing.
Roger that. I'm pretty new, and I'd like to get on and actually down in Duncanville. I used to stay in South Irving, that's where I'm from, but at the moment I'm on 20 and road right now. And by the way, my name is Pat. I'm Alpha Tango.
Okay, Pat. Good deal. Well, thanks for coming back to me. Yeah, I wasn't. I haven't been on this repeater in a while, but the last few times it was in a drive time in the morning, driving into town, and I know that there's usually a lot of activity on it during those times, but I wasn't sure about mid to late morning how many people were still listening to it.
Roger that. I'm just going by and picking up a new toy at Harbor Freight, and going by and picking up my wife. She's going to school, Cedar Valley College down in Lancaster.
Okay, good. I'm just out driving around this morning, running some errands, but also doing some radio work. So thanks for responding, man. Repeater sounds good up here in Irving like it normally does. Something I learned. This is something that I learned recently. I think I have an antenna issue. Not the SWR is fine. I checked that, but I think that I have my antenna on a mag mount, which it works, but it's not the greatest solution in the world for a mobile antenna. And the reason that I have it on a mag mount is because I want to put my antennas on my roof. My roof rack is aluminum, so the mag mounts are actually on top of the cab. But the roof rack, the Front Runner, which is the company that makes a roof rack, they make an antenna mount that goes on the edge of the roof rack that has a small opening in it where you can put like an SO239 or an NMO mount. And I have a few of those to put up my antennas. In fact, I was just sent some antennas by 12 Volt Power, who's the Comet distributor in North America. People often ask, what's my favorite mobile radio antenna? Currently, it is the Comet SBB5. I've used an SBB 1 and 2. They actually sent me an SBB7, which is a really tall antenna. I might do something else with it, I'm not sure. But the SBB5, I've got 2 different SBB5s on the truck right now for 2 different radios, and I've got an SBB 224, which is a 220 antenna. That's not on the truck right now, but then I've got I think I've got their 2x4, which is the really wide-banded one that works for GMRS. That's my GMRS antenna right now. So the Comet series of antennas is my favorite. But what I need to do is I need to find a better way to run the coax into the cab. That's why I haven't mounted them yet. I went and talked to an install shop just not too long ago, last week sometime, and was talking to them about the best way to run coax into the cab, drilling holes or whatever. And I got some new ideas, so that's probably going to be an upcoming video. The largest club in the North Texas area is the Denton Club. It's called DCARA, D-C-A-R-A. It's the Denton County Amateur Radio Association. It's been a couple years since I was at that club meetings as well. I haven't been to a club meeting in a long time. I should probably change that. But the last time I was at one of the Denton Club meetings, there was 80, 90, almost 100 people there. And they have a very active club. They have a lot of repeaters. They have A couple of different 2-meter repeaters, a couple different 440 repeaters. They have a DMR repeater, 220, 900 megahertz. They used to have a P25 repeater. I think they probably still do. They've got a lot of Arden stuff there for Arden mesh. I'm not sure if they do Mesh-tastic or not. They've got All-Star, got some All-Star nodes and whatnot. So it's a very active and very vibrant club. And if you're in the North Texas area, check out the Dakara website. And the repeater we're looking at today is their main repeater, what I would call their main club repeater. That used to be true. I think it still is, maybe. 146.920 is the 2-meter repeater. And likewise, they have a 220 repeater at 224.920. CTCS tone of 110.9, like normal around this area. So we're going to see if there's any activity today on that repeater. KC5HWB mobile in Louisville, northbound I-35. Wonder if anybody's monitoring this repeater today.
5 Lima Delta, heading northbound on 35 towards Denton from Hickory Creek. KEH at Duncanville, Texas.
KEH in Duncanville. Wow. Okay, that answers my question. Delta Lima Lima. I'm probably right behind you. I just crossed over the bridge. Headed northbound, bridge over Lake Louisville. So good morning to you. And the other station, you said you were in Duncanville, is that correct?
Right, the name's Sparrow down here. And yes, we are in Duncanville.
Okay, copy on that. That's a good stretch. You're making it into the repeater really well. So, I mean, I guess you probably got a good base antenna set up, so sounded good this morning. I wanted to give a pause there, see if anybody else jumped in, but I think it was KJ5 Lima Lima Delta, is that right? KC5HWB.
I might get maybe a little staggy. I'm down in the hole now right here by Bucky's, heading up toward 288. But yeah, I was watching on the highway to see if you were going to pass us because we were in the slow lane and flagged out FJ Cruiser with a ton of antennas and lights.
I want to see that just to see it. Okay, haven't seen that yet. Haven't made it to the Buc-ee's yet though. I'm coming up to passing this RV World over here, and I'm in a blue Ford F-250.
Let that step off to the side here. We're making a run to the bank. So this is KJ5 Lima Lima Delta. I'll be back on here monitoring here shortly. Taking the pull off down. We'll talk to you all here.
All right, thanks for coming back to me, and good morning to you. KC5HWB. This was, the Denton Club was one of the first clubs that I ever joined and attended a club meeting for when I was first licensed in the mid-90s. They've been an active club for a long, long time. This repeater, I can easily get into both this repeater and the Dallas repeater from home when I have my base station antenna up. And many times I can key the repeater from an HT standing either in my office at home, which is on the second story, or standing outside in the backyard. It's scratchy, it doesn't get into it real well, but I can key these repeaters usually enough to hold a conversation. So 2 of the more active repeaters in the area, especially during drive times and weekend traffic, Saturday morning traffic.
Here with all the overlanding equipment, I just saw you go by.
Yeah, that's me. That's it. I saw the Buc-ee's over there, and I took a quick glance down there, but I didn't see your vehicle. I got an APRS message from KJ5 TUY, KJ5 TUY while I was driving. And when I was up in the city of Denton on 35 there, before I got off of 35, I was starting to get a lot of APRS stations light up there. So I'm going to pull over here on the side of the road. There's a gas station back there. I'm going to reply to this APRS message, and I'm going to send out a CQ bulletin or a CQ group message, because APRS, why not? There's a lot of APRS stuff around Denton because they're just an active club. They got a lot of stuff. They do a little bit in everything in ham radio. All right, there's the message, KJ5TUY. Hey, Jason, I'm just trying out APRS myself, is what he's saying right there. So, we're going to go back into that message. Reply. Edit text. While you're backspacing, you can hear the beeping there. When the radio stops responding to beep like that right there, that means you're done. That means you're at the end. So, TY 4 watching. Hold this down. Send. There it goes. Wait and see if that hits something. 50 watts it should. Okay, well let's just go here and I can start over again. Reply. Clear all. Edit call sign. CQ. Okay. Text. Good. Good morning, Denton. Good morning. All right. We'll see if that goes anywhere. The third repeater I'm going to talk about today is Rosston. Now, the Rosston repeater is a fantastic repeater because it's up at about 2,000 feet on a tower in the town of Rosston, which is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's outside of kind of between the city of Denton and the city of Decatur. It's out in the field in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of, I say a lot, there's several other towers around it. It's a high elevation area, and there's been towers put up in that area for a while, but the Rosston repeater is actually controlled by the Denton Club. So while they have access to the repeater and they maintain the repeaters, they have access to the tower and maintain the repeaters on that tower, which there are several. They're not under the Denton Club call sign, which is W5NGU, by the way. But this Rosston repeater is WD5U, and it is on 145.49 with the CTCSS tone of 85.4. In fact, when I key this up here in a minute, it's probably going to tell me that. That's probably going to be the courtesy tone, the message from the repeater. KC5HWB Mobile.
Welcome to the WD5U repeater BL85.4.
Now, I don't hear a lot of activity on this repeater, but it reaches out so far that it's kind of a shame it doesn't get used a little bit more often. There has been in the past an all-star connection to this repeater, and I don't know if that's still active or not. I know at times they have trouble with the internet service at the tower site because there's also a 220 repeater on this same tower. I believe it's 224.200, and when the internet's working, that one absolutely has an all-star connection, and I can get into that repeater from my hunting lease. So many times during hunting season, I will key up that 220 repeater, make sure it's online, and then I'll connect that 220 repeater to my all-star system. But this Rosston repeater is, sadly, I've thrown my call sign out twice. I haven't gotten anything yet. We're going to try it again. KC5HWB monitoring. Anybody else on this repeater? HH. Okay, is it KA5AAH? I'm sorry, HAA?
Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet Alpha Kilo. And this is Nick in McKinney.
Okay, Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet Alpha Kilo. Got you that time. Okay, Nick. The name is Jason, Kilo Charlie 5 Hotel Whiskey Bravo. Just wanted to see if anyone was monitoring this repeater. I'm just doing some range testing on it. I thought I could hit it a little bit better from my location, but I am hearing you now, and you're doing a pretty good job for McKinney. Those are three. The first two, the Dallas repeater and the Denton repeater, are two of the most active repeaters in the area. This Rosston one, like I said, is not really that active, which is surprising because the range on it is usually really, really good. McKinney, this guy's in McKinney. That's I'm going to guess 20 to 25 miles as the crow flies. McKinney's is northeast of Dallas. Rosston is basically, it's a little bit, it's kind of south of Denton, and it's way up north of Dallas. It does have a good reach. Now there's some static in the background there, and like I said, I've knocked that antenna around a few times on various things. I drive under trees, drive-throughs, whatnot, and so when the mag mount moves around, that's when I start to lose signal a little bit. Working on a different solution for that. That's going to be a future video, mounting new Comet SBB5s on the roof rack. But those are the 3 repeaters I wanted to talk about today. What 2-meter repeater do you use in your area? How active is it? How often do you key it up and throw your call sign out? I challenge you to do that a little bit more often this week. Let's read some donations, guys. Those are the 3 2-meter repeaters in the Dallas area. And as I said before, the one that I normally monitor myself is 442.900 with a positive offset and a CT CSS tone of 110.9. Those other repeaters we worked today were 2 meters and a little bit more used regularly than the one I monitor, but the one I monitor is really close to home, so Frank and I talk on that one quite a bit. Today's donors, as of today, we are up to $2,680 with a total of 51 donors. And the notes from donors today is in honor of K0UM on his retirement, in memory of Samuel H. Reisinger Jr., WB9FOR, in memory of my father, KC8QOK, and in memory of Tran Kim Howe, our beloved mother. So they did not leave names for those, but thank you very much for those donations. Keep those donations coming, ARRL.org/30 days, and appreciate the support, guys. See you tomorrow.